And always, remember to reset and zap.
Hi, this is Zap, and welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. Welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. It's your boy, TeeJay, and we are back. And with me is my co-host.
Hey, everybody, it's ZapCristal in the building.
That actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
You might be wondering what in the tarnation is happening right now. Well, you know,
I'm ZapCristal.
and I'm TeeJay, the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's your question answered right there.
It's we decided it would be fun to be each other.
Because I am a Capcom creator, Xbox ambassador, featured on YouTube's main page, host of the Reset and Zap podcast. Welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. I am your host, Zap, and with me is my co-host.
Hey, it's your boy TeeJay. Oh, guys, welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We're close to closing in season 3.
Yeah, second to last episode, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
We got a couple surprises
A word?
for closing season 3.
You got a couple surprises. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know
Oh,
what?
are you talking about the other thing? Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about the other thing. Oh, never mind. All right, keep going.
Yeah. But anyhow, guys, first of all, let me just remind you what the Reset and Zap podcast is about, because we're all over the place right now. Reset and Zap
Hold on,
podcast.
I'm supposed to do this. Hold on.
yeah.
You got it?
Oh,
You
okay.
You got it up?
Yeah.
You got it on here?
Yeah, it's right here. It's
at the bottom?
Yeah, number 8.
Number 8. Freestyle. Oh, no, I mean like the little quote, the thing that you say at the beginning.
No.
You don't have that on there?
You got to say it from the top of your head.
I don't know it.
You can't be zapped then. You're screwed.
Welcome to, this is the Reset Zap podcast where we reset and, I don't know. Never mind. Go ahead. Do your thing. Never mind.
Just stay as a co-host,
Yeah,
baby.
just go ahead. Do your thing.
Welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast. Here at the Reset and Zap, it's all about resetting and being in the right mindset for a brand new week. We talk about everything. We talk about gaming,
Word.
life,
Yep.
parenthood,
Yeah.
work-life balance,
True.
and much more.
That is also true.
As a friendly reminder, I would appreciate if after listening to this episode,
Yeah.
you go over to either Spotify, Apple, any platform where you listen to this podcast, and leave us some ratings, leave us some reviews.
Oh, yeah.
We always read them. We're constantly tweaking the podcast, and we always strive to make it entertaining for you guys who are listening, but make it easier for us.
Got that right.
So
Especially that second part about being easier for me. I like that part.
especially that part.
Yeah, I like that part.
I want to announce some special things, so let's get them right out of the way.
All right, let's go.
Out of the gate.
Let's go.
First of all, we're going to be premiering a new mini-series called A Quick Reset with Zap.
Oh, yeah.
It is a spin-off to the main show, and it's going to be featuring me, and basically the whole series is simply just about me sharing whatever's on my mind. It is a quicker version, a short version of the main show, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that I've been hesitating to make videos of, but I decided, you know what, now's the time to talk about it. So we're going to cover pretty much everything, not just gaming topics, pretty much anything.
Can I do a quick reset one day?
It would be interesting actually
Can I
to
do
do a
one?
quick reset.
Yeah, for me. I want to do one. Just give me like a good 20, 30 minutes. I'll just talk.
You just you alone, just talking. You know what? We got to do that. We got to.
I can do a quick reset.
A quick reset.
Quick reset with TeeJay.
With TeeJay. We would have to swap it with TeeJay.
Yeah, instead of quick reset with Zap.
Zap.
Quick reset with TeeJay.
TeeJay. That would be
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to do one. I already got an idea.
Gotcha.
I got an idea what I want to
Now
talk
I'm
about.
interested.
Yeah.
What you might do.
Yeah.
Oh God, are
I
you
already
gonna get
know
us in
what I'm talking
trouble?
about. Nah, this is interesting.
Okay.
I would like, because it's a thought that came to my mind the other day. I'll let you know what my topic would be. My
Okay.
topic would be the art of manipulation.
Oh wow. Now I'm interested and intimidated. But yeah, guys, I hope that you guys like where I'm going with the quick mini series that I'm going to be launching. And just like the main show, it's also going to be made available on all streaming platforms. And of course, if you want to watch the videos, we're proud to announce that these videos are now available on Spotify.
That is correct. Spotify has now allowed us to upload videos of the podcast to the Spotify platform. Shout out to our new partners at Spotify. So yeah, you can now watch all your favorite podcast episodes with video right there on Spotify. And if you are a Spotify user, it means you pay for the subscription. You can watch those videos at no additional cost.
Yep. So you get to not only listen to the audio, but watch a video that we've prepared just for this episode.
Yeah.
So there you go. And celebrating the return of the hero.
Oh yeah, yes. My latest album, The Return of the Hero, is now available.
It's at masterswordmusic.com.
Yes, sir.
I would like to thank y'all. Return of the Hero, your boy TeeJay the Gamer is back.
You know I don't say that every time, right?
That's gonna be my take.
I don't say that every time I say my name. I don't say that like that.
Because a lot of people out there be calling me Master Stone Music. We ain't Master Stone Music. We TeeJay the Gamer. But anyhow, your album is out. Congratulations, baby.
But yeah, my album is currently out now. So thank you for everybody who's been listening to that. It has definitely been one of my best premieres of an album. The streaming numbers have been absolutely amazing. This is definitely my best first week launch of any album I've ever put out. So
jokes aside, I really love this album. I'm having the same feeling that I had when you released Heroes Awakening.
Oh yeah.
Where I was constantly listening to this album on repeat. That's how I find myself with Return of the Hero. Yeah,
I'm very happy with how this project turned out. I got to spend a lot of time working on it. I think that's the big change is that normally, I'm working on projects back to back to back to back. Mm-hmm. But with the rest of the group, now dropping projects and giving me extra content to put out, I was able to spend pretty much the whole last year, all of last year, working on that album. While, you were dropping your album and, I Love Journey, get that.
It was the MSM year.
Yeah. Katetsu dropped his album that same year. VG dropped his album that year. So I basically got the whole year off to sit back and really work on my project and really refine it. So I think that's why this project is probably some of my best work, because I got to spend the most time working on it.
And are we able to reveal some things of what should we expect this year or not quite yet?
Oh yeah, we can talk about it now because they are now official.
Okay.
So yeah, they are after my album, the first week in October. I forgot exactly what the date is, but that first Thursday in October, our newest member, Action Jack, will be dropping his debut MSM project.
Nice.
Yeah, so definitely look forward to that. And then again in the first week in November, that first Thursday, thousands. It's actually funny how this works out because our newest member is dropping an album, and now the oldest member, besides myself,
will be closing the year.
We'll be closing the year in November. So Thousand Star will be dropping his album in November. So exciting. Yeah, got a lot going on, and there's another project that one's still secret. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
we can't reveal it all. Okay,
can't give it all yet. But for those two projects are set. First Thursday in October, Action Jack. First Thursday in November, Thousand Star will be dropping his project, all accompanied by new music videos.
And as of for me, like I mentioned, we're currently streaming season 3 on all streaming platforms. We're doing the quick mini series, A Quick Reset with Zap, and we're doing a lot of live events throughout the year. So stay tuned to all our social media pages because I'll be revealing some information for our annual events like Spookathon, any Capcom live events that we might be featured in, and much more. So do expect it because live events are coming.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it.
Speaking of all the things that we got going on, there is something I've been meaning to share, and I wanted your opinion on this. And it's based on a quick reset episode that is probably either out already or is about to come out. But it was me talking about indie gaming.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
And I just did a little quick reset, sharing what's on my mind when it comes to indie games, which thank you so much for the support, by the way, because this episode has performed really, really well, by the way. And as I was listening to myself, there was something that stood out to me. And I was like, wow, this is actually really true. And it was about how gaming sparks passion, or the passion, for other hobbies. And I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to talk with you about this topic because you, as an artist, one of the things that your channel is about is that you make music for gamers. So now my question is, how has gaming sparked that passion for the music that you create nowadays?
Well, actually, it is pretty much the precipice of my entire channel. Like, it's what my entire channel is actually based on, is how gaming has influenced my love for music. Because most people would probably assume that my love of music influences what kind of games I'm into or whatever. Like, they think the relationship goes that way.
Yeah.
But actually, it is the other way around, where gaming influences my love of music. Because some of my favorite music of all time comes from video games. Like, as I said a million times, and everybody knows me, I think Chrono Trigger has the most amazing soundtrack of all time. And I'm comparing that not only to just like video games, but just music in general. Like, I think it's one of the most well put together albums, period, of all time. So like, gaming actually is what influences my music. So yeah, I would totally agree with that statement that gaming does like build passion for other things. Because for me, like, when getting into gaming, especially on the Super Nintendo, which is another reason why I'm a big Super Nintendo fan, is because the music from the Super Nintendo era was just absolutely ridiculous. Like, games like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy and Earthworm Jim, and like, it's just the music that came out of that era was just absolutely phenomenal. And that SNES era is really what influenced a lot of what I love musically, and like what kind of sounds I enjoy, what kind of drums I like, and that kind of stuff was definitely all influenced by the SNES era in general.
Okay.
Musically, as far as like lyrically, like of course it affects my lyrics in that way, because I always use gaming references to get my points across.
Okay.
And it's kind of more like the thought process behind it, like the way I think about it, is that I've played a lot of games. I've played a lot of games, a lot of weird, obscure games, a lot of games everybody knows, games everybody hates. So like, just my knowledge of just my gaming mental library is huge. So like, the thought process is like, I'm just reaching into that library to like get my point across. But like, the points I'm trying to get across may not necessarily have anything to do with gaming. Like, it may be like a love song, or it may be like a song about being a dad, but I'm still showing my gaming knowledge about, like, I'll make some obscure reference that only somebody who's played that game would understand, or something like that. So it's the whole premise is that even if you're not a gamer, you can enjoy my music, because the points are kind of, you can get it. But if you are a gamer, then you also get a bonus layer. You know, you can not only not only can you enjoy the music, but you can also be like, wow, he just made a reference to Phantasy Star, or oh man, that was a Killer Instinct reference. Like, gamers get something extra out of my music that the normal audience doesn't get. And that's where the I make music for gamers comes from. Like, yeah, I make music, and because I mean, like, as gamers, we like regular music too. Like, we like hip hop, we like R&B, like, you know. But you know, it's cool. But it's really cool when people make, you know, gaming references or use like gaming samples in their music or whatever. Like, we find that kind of stuff more entertaining. So that's kind of the way that, you know, gaming is kind of influenced my music, is that I'm trying to like bring that home. Like, we gamers, we like regular music. We like our music to sound normal, just like anything else.
Yeah.
But we just like to have a little reference, just to say, hey, this is like basically me saying like, hey, I notice you. I see you out there. I see you gamers out there.
So, do you also think that it has influenced you to maybe discover other hobbies that you now enjoy, or you maybe are still in the process of discovering it? Like, do you think gaming has gone beyond to just like your music?
Yeah, gaming has affected my life in general. Like, just the way that I process things, because I'm a big RPG guy. So I play a lot of RPGs. So I think that is where I get my thinking ahead ofness from. Like, because everybody who knows me knows that I'm always thinking ahead. Like, what's next? What's coming out in 2026? All right.
Yeah.
I'm already done with 2025. What's 2026? What's 2027? So, and I think a lot of that comes from me playing a lot of RPGs, where you have to strategize, especially turn-based ones, because you have to think ahead. Like, in a turn-based RPG, you got to think, all right, if I do this move now, what am I doing 2 turns after?
Yeah.
What am I doing 3 turns after? What am I going to do 4 turns after? So it's like you're always thinking about, all right, if I do this move, how would that affect turn 15 down the line? So like a lot of that like strategy of playing RPGs and thinking ahead, I think is what influences me to think ahead as far as like my career or my life in general. How I plan out events months in advance. Like, you know, saying you're talking about, Valentine's Day. Yeah, I've had Valentine's Day planned since October. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny because, you know, back in the 90s, gaming was considered like bad. Like, oh, you can't let your kids play. You know, it's a waste of time. Gaming is a waste of time. But now gaming, since it's become more popular, you know, it's become more mainstream. Now we're starting to see like the benefits from gaming.
And speaking of, like earlier you were talking about Return of the Hero, that's actually the whole premise behind my song, Proud to Be a Gamer. Which the video's out for that now, so you can go watch that video right now. Proud to Be a Gamer.
Spectacular, because the spot that we chose to film it was the Video Game Museum.
Yep, the National Video Game Museum. Shout out to the National Video Game Museum for letting us film there. That was the biggest comment I got on that video.
Yeah, they're like, the music video is cool, but
like, what is that spot? Where are you at? Like, what's cool? Like, National. I gotta go see it. So like, but yeah, the whole premise behind that song is basically talking about how, like, you know, at once upon a time, like, being a gamer was something that was shunned or looked down upon. But, like, I'm proud to be a gamer because being a gamer has influenced my life. Like, in that song, I talk about how gaming, you know, kept me out of getting into trouble. Kept me out of running around the streets with my friends that was doing gang stuff or selling drugs or whatever the case may be. While they were out doing all that crazy stuff, I was in the house playing Nintendo.
Yeah.
You know? So that kept me out of a lot of trouble that I could have been into. Like, you know, that's one of the lines is, you know, it's better than being in the streets looking over your shoulder, you know? And basically talking about how gaming, that song is basically what you're talking about. It's basically how gaming has affected me. And outside of my music, it's affected my life because it's, once, like I say, it kept me from getting into trouble. It kept me focused when my mind would wander about things, or it would give me a temporary escape if I'm dealing with an issue and I just need to relax and kind of chill. So gaming has affected me that way. Like, gaming has affected me in pretty much all aspects of my life. The knowledge, I've learned a lot from gaming. Like, people would be surprised how much, like, history or stuff you can learn from playing video games. Like, you'll learn about things like a big one was Konitsugami. I learned so much about, like, more Japanese, like,
culture,
folklore and tales and stuff like that from playing that game, because they give you excerpts of the folklore and stuff while you're playing. So, like, I just think that gaming was for a long time looked down upon. I think that has changed a lot in current times. But, like, that's basically the whole premise of that song is, like, gaming, it was a good positive influence on my life. And look at all the things it has done for me. So I am proud to be a gamer.
Yeah, for me, gaming has sparked many interests in other hobbies. Like, a fun fact, since we're talking about it right now, the video for Proud to Be a Gamer, you had requested me to be in charge of your wardrobe, and you wanted me to create something for that video.
Oh, yeah. A fun fact. If you look at that video and you see the shirt that I'm wearing like a white shirt, but then the sleeves have, like, Wind Waker Zelda Link, like, collage on the sleeves. That shirt was actually created and handcrafted for me by my beautiful, talented wife.
It was fun. It was a challenge too, because I've made clothes for myself, but I've never made clothes for someone else. So I was a little nervous. You know, I had to tackle this project, and if anything, gaming definitely helped inspire me with the design and how the shirt came out to be. So that was really exciting.
I love that shirt, by the way. I wear that even outside the video. I just wear that now.
Also, like it has inspired me to continue other hobbies that I've learned early on, but now I've kind of picked it up and have continued from there, which is crocheting, thanks to my grandma, rest in peace. And we've created some really unique pieces that you may or may have not seen by now, that are also included in some of your videos.
Yeah, you had a big part in this album, even on the songs you're not necessarily on. You did a lot of work. Like you did a lot of props. Yeah, you were my prop department.
Wardrobe.
You were wardrobe. You were video vixen, but say video vixen because you was in a couple of the videos.
Yeah.
An artist because you're featured on some of the songs.
Yeah.
Like you had a lot of work in on this album.
So gaming definitely has helped in thinking beyond typical stereotypes and seeing like how can I express myself. Besides, the videos that I create, the podcast, like it really does help you be a risk taker, like I mentioned in a previous episode, and not being afraid of exploration, just exploring what are you capable of, And I love that you mentioned, because I never really thought about it that way, but yeah, gaming really has helped me. I guess in a couple of ways. Like, first of all, it has helped me be organized. Like, my organization skills are like off the chart. Yeah. And it really is due to gaming, because a lot when you play like puzzle games, when you play games that recently I've been exposed because of you, like The Legend of Zelda and stuff like that. Like, I've had to be more creative, even in Resident Evil, if you're like inventory management and those limitations that they put, in the game. Like, how do you get around stuff? And that has helped me when it comes to like real problem solving in real life, and be more effective, like streamline like different like processes and different ways to get stuff done quicker, but also like efficiently, I guess is how you say it. So gaming really has helped me perfect that in my life. But it also has helped me introduce lessons to my children, because sometimes there's topics that sometimes it's hard to explain to your kids, and there's always been those couple of titles that I'll tell my kids, like, okay, play this title because this will explain perfectly what I'm trying to teach you. And it's going to introduce you to some important life skills or some important life lessons. Like, a perfect example was you're playing one of my many favorite games that I truly love, and it's Spiritfarer. Oh yeah. And
having a blast with that game too.
I was telling you that Action Jack actually mentioned this, that one of the reasons why he plays games is because it helps him escape from reality, and it helps people release the stress that life may cause. And Spiritfarer was that for me. It was a cozy game that helped me, escape from reality, escape from some issues, some problems I was dealing with. It helped me grieve properly, because I was going through some really dark times during that that time that I was playing the game. And long story short, it's a game that really teaches you how you can love people even beyond the afterlife. And it's so well done, and it's so well explained. So, the gaming is just powerful. It's hard, but it goes back to that video that I made about.
I was about to bring that up, actually.
What was the title of that video? The
Healing Journey?
My video game healing journey, yeah. Where I talk about different games that have helped me in different phases in my life, and the power and the impact that they have made in my life.
Oh yeah, that I'm glad because I was just, when you were talking, that's actually what I was thinking about, was that particular video. And like, if gaming is applied properly, it can be used to for a lot of different things, And I think people don't give gaming the respect it deserves on what it can achieve and what it can do. And I feel like that I've been a better person because of it,
Oh yeah.
And like, once again, that's kind of the premise behind what I do, and showing people that, look what gaming did for me. Like, look how gaming has influenced my life, and look how it can bring change,
Yeah.
because a lot of what I'm doing now and a lot of the things that I have are due to gaming in some kind of way. Like my music career is due to gaming. Without gaming, I wouldn't be doing the music that I'm doing now. If it wasn't for gaming, I wouldn't be in the field that I'm in. Being a technology support guy came from being a gamer. And my console broke. Let me take my console apart and see if I can fix it. And be doing stuff like that eventually taught me about components and wiring and cabling. And I learned how to fix computers and stuff now because that all sprung from my love of gaming, because I couldn't afford to pay nobody to fix my Super Nintendo, so I had to take that thing apart and fix it myself. So that is where I get my technology skills from. And so if you look at like everything that I've built my life upon, you can see how gaming has, in some way, has influenced that part of my life in some kind of way. So
yeah, gaming has branched out in such a way that it like you mentioned, it has helped people and even making the right career choices for them. Because fun fact, once upon a time, my brother's gonna kill me, by the way, by revealing this, but I always knew somehow that I was going to end up in the gaming industry, because my brother and I originally wanted to go to college to pursue a gaming career.
Okay.
Once upon a time, I wanted to get into like gaming development. I wanted to study that.
Interesting.
And I've always been fascinated by the idea of how games are created. And then my brother wanted to go in for to become like a video game programmer.
Oh wow.
So we had committed at some point. I'm sorry, Bevel. We never did it, but here it is. Oh, that we were gonna go to college to pursue that as our career choice. But we moved on, and it's funny how somehow I ended up doing gaming, but in a different way, because thanks to my career choice, I've been able to interview developers, be able to connect with Capcom, and then see the behind the scenes for those major games that I now love, like Resident Evil and all that stuff. So I still feel like it's really cool to have been involved in the gaming industry, but just not making the games. But you feel me.
Yeah, I feel where you're coming from. Yeah.
But if it wasn't for my love and passion for gaming, I would have not started a YouTube channel talking about games or talking about video game collecting or how much I love gaming. Because let me touch the most important subject that I see that now is becoming more mainstream because of gaming, is that gaming includes more unity, and there's more inclusion and diversity.
Oh yeah.
So if anything, we're seeing now is a lot more games bringing in that cultural representation, like you said, that history background, learning about how people are raised in different places, and how gaming has affected people all over the world. And it's really nice, because even if we don't fully understand each other, there is one thing that unites us, and that is gaming.
And it's not even necessarily always directly in your face either, because one of the cool things you brought it up earlier about Spirit Fair is that the cooking mechanic is that you can put certain items together and you make certain unique dishes, and even down to the dishes have cultural references, because they have stuff like paella. You can make paella in there, or you can make all these different cuisines that come, because a lot of the characters you meet are from different races and different cultures and different backgrounds, and certain ones like certain foods from their culture or stuff like that. So you'll see all these different unique dishes. You'll see Indian dishes or Spanish dishes or African dishes, vegan dishes. You know what I'm saying? You get to, just looking at the dishes, you can learn stuff about people's culture and what they like and what kind of dishes are from what kind of different areas and stuff like that. So even though that game is not about cooking, I learned a lot about different foods from different areas just by playing that game, because this French character like this food, is this actually a French? Because you'll see me doing it, I'll be playing a game and I'm like, I wonder if that's a real thing, and then I'll just go Google it and be like, oh, that is a real thing. I learned something. It was the other day there was a dish called tuna Takani or something like that. And I look it up, and I'm looking it up trying to figure out how to make it.
Oh, the picture you showed
Yeah,
me. You're like, oh,
and I'm like, oh,
that's
that's a real dish. Like, this is a real like Japanese dish. Like, oh, this is really cool, and it actually looks really good. This may be something I might want to try to learn how to make one day.
Yeah, I was joking the other day, but I actually meant it when I told my son, I'm like, you want to learn how to cook? Grab a game, Cookie Mama. Cookie Mama will teach you how to cook.
It'll teach you the basics.
And I was like, yeah, she does teach you a little bit.
Yeah,
you can get the
stuff.
logistics.
The stuff that happens makes sense. Like, you crack the egg, you put it in there, you stir it up, you mix, put it in the sea. Like, people, like I said, gaming doesn't get the respect it really deserves, because like there's so much that goes into these games, and how much love and effort are put into these. To, like I said, like the food. Like, you could have just been, mushroom dish, steak dish, whatever.
Generic.
Not, this is paella. This is specifically this dish. This is specifically coquito. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was playing Wildflowers, and they had coquito in there.
I was
you know
like,
what I'm saying? Like,
you know that the devs had to have done their proper research to come up with those
or
dishes.
had somebody Puerto Rican on the team or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody was like, hey, why don't you put coquito in there? Bet. All right, bet.
And I love that nowadays, that you've seen more of that representation, more of that diversity, that inclusion, because even like the recent Xbox showcase that they were showcasing this game, I might get the title wrong, but it's South of Midnight, or
South of Midnight, yeah.
South of Midnight, and it's like in a Louisiana kind of like
Creole.
Southern
Creole.
setting, and I love it because I got to see the actress that is behind the character, and I'm like, wow, she looks like the character.
Yeah, they definitely modeled the character after her.
So it's really cool to see, that more of that inclusion and it being more accepted on mainstreams, because I think everybody at some point likes to see something that looks like them. There's like, this reminds me of who I am, as a person.
And you can tell the difference when somebody's doing it naturally and when they're just throwing it in there just to throw it in there, like in that case, that just feels it's just part of the environment, like if you're in Louisiana, that's the way people talk, and that's the way people look, and that's the way people think, and so it makes sense for the character to be like that, because this is it makes sense for her to be a black girl if you're talking about Louisiana. There's a lot of black girls in Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be like, the thing that when people get upset is when they throw stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, you're in Japan, but for some reason all the characters are white.
Yeah,
you know
it seems
what I'm saying?
like out of place, like cultural.
Like, aren't we in Japan? Aren't this game take place in Tokyo? Shouldn't everybody here be Asian? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that. So like, but when it's just natural, it's like, it makes sense that this is instead of trying to shoehorn a black girl into a movie or into a show, they put you in a situation where it's like, it makes sense to be a black girl because we're in the South in Louisiana in this time period. Yeah. So that makes sense. So that's fine. Yeah. So it's like, you can see the difference. Basically, it's like, we're instead of like them taking a character that was white and making them black. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. All right. Now you're doing it just to do it. But
that's why I loved Wildflowers, because you could tell that the when they did the character modeling, they took the time and put attention into those small details that somebody like me can be able to like recognize, because one of the characters is Puerto Rican, and as soon as we look at him, you're like, he kind of does look like he's Puerto Rican, like just the details.
Yeah, he was the one that brought up the coquito and all that kind of stuff. So it's like every character has their own likes and stuff from their culture. Yeah, like I said, just like in Spirit Fair. That might be. Actually, I didn't think about that. Maybe that's why you like Wildflower so much. It has a lot in common with Spirit Fair. But yeah, like each character has the thing that they like, and they like certain kind of foods, and they have a certain kind of thing that they like. There's one guy who likes to surf or whatever, and then
different personalities.
The Puerto Rican guy's like a jeweler.
And then he's married to an Irish guy that runs a bakery.
Yeah, he's the baker. And then so like everybody, you get to see different people in different scenarios and stuff that's not stereotypically, you know what I'm saying? It's not a black guy who's a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not a Puerto Rican guy who's a construction worker,
or a
you know what I'm saying?
Like Puerto Rican. Yeah, it's like the typical.
A black girl who's a hairdresser, you know what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that. It's like you get to see different people in different scenarios. So I think when you have that more natural reasoning for it, it feels a lot better than when you just kind of force it in there for no reason.
It's a great time to be a gamer. Like,
it really is.
90s
it truly
was
is.
like that boom where like, oh, you know, it was innovation and technology and higher pixel art and whatever it, you know, it was. But now
All
we're
about them bits. 16
yeah,
bit.
16 bits.
32-bit, baby.
It was the bit world.
The bit world, bit wars. Right?
It was crazy. It was some
What
crazy
about
times.
64-bit? Bam! We got you, 64 bits.
Now we're like, what in the world you guys are even talking about?
Exactly. That bits don't even mean nothing no more.
No.
It never meant anything.
But it sounded cool.
It sounded cool though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it never actually.
You had to do
meant
something
anything.
to sell it.
Yeah, 64 bits, baby.
But nowadays, it's more of the community, like the games that build those communities around it. Because even like with your music, you know, you have a community that enjoys listening to your music, that are gamers and that are connected to you because of it. And with me, it's the same thing with the podcast and with my main channel too. Like I could talk about whatever, and we're going to always find, you know, like-minded individuals who can identify with my journey, with, you know, the changes that I've made in my life, with, you know, those new seasons that I'm living now. There's always going to be someone who you're going to impact, and just the same way that gaming does it for us.
100% agree.
So I will say this year, not last year, this year.
This year, 2025.
What is a current game you're playing that you're absolutely enjoying, that you're like, wow, this really does showcase gaming for what it has to bring to the
Talking
table?
about a 2025 game, or
Not, it
just
doesn't
a
necessarily
game
have to
that
be
I'm-
like 2020, but like a game that you're playing in this year.
It's a couple. There's a couple. Like I said, I'm currently playing Spiritfarer, which I'm really having a really, really good time with. Really, really enjoying that. I've also been playing Tokyo Ghostwire,
Okay.
which is on Game Pass now, and that was absolutely a blast.
I've seen you playing it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It kind of reminds me of like a Japanese Resident Evil. Like
okay.
Resi, was it 7?
Yes.
The first person one?
Biohazard?
Yeah, that's the first person one?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Baker's house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like a Japanese version
Which
of
is
that.
funny because it's in a Louisiana setting too.
Yeah, it is in Louisiana. It is.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like a Japanese version of that, like a first person, like
Okay.
survival horror game.
Interesting.
Basically. It's basically what it is. It's like a survival horror game, but it's like a first person.
I think you were playing it because originally you were playing which I asked you to play, to give it a shot, which was the Evil Within.
Yes,
And I
it's
think
made
it's the
by the same Tango Gameworks. The same guys who also made another game of theirs I've actually played that I didn't know was by them was Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush
gotcha.
is also a Tango Gameworks and Bethesda.
I haven't really been playing like new games. I finalized Wildflowers. I've been playing a cute little mobile game that's called Loves and Pies, which, oh my god, it's like the cutest game. If you don't know, just look it up. It's just I play mobile games too, just so y'all know. And then I've been also doing a second gameplay for Fantasy Life because I'm so excited for the new game. Just give it to me. But in the meantime, you know, I'm playing Fantasy Life again. But this time, I'm exploring some other options that I haven't chosen before.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Fantasy Life is that it does give you a lot of options. Like
Yeah.
you can be a warrior, or you could be a blacksmith, or you could be a baker, or you could
Well,
be
last time I was a cook, and then this time I decided to be a miner. And in my head, I'm like, mining, that's so simple. Like, what can you possibly do as a miner? But now that I'm playing it, I'm like, oh my God, it's so much fun. It's really fun. I like being a miner.
And that's the cool thing about Fantasy Life is that it gives you could play the game different ways. Like you could just pick your style that you like and play that way. Like if you like comfort games, you can be like a farmer and just farm.
Yeah.
Or if you want to play an action game, you can be a warrior and just go out and fight people
It's
and
such a
stuff.
fun
Or you could
game.
be a thief, or you know what I'm saying? Like you could be whatever like whatever jobs they have, you could just play that role and play the game in that style.
And what's impressive is that I'm playing it on my 3DS, and my 3DS has been out for a while, but I still get that cozy feeling, of sitting on right next to you, because that's usually how we always do it. We have our little couple gameplay sessions.
Oh, yeah.
You're over there on the box while I'm here playing with the 3DS, or you'll be switching to the Switch, and I'm like, all right, well, if you're doing Switch, I'll do Xbox, and this is how we are all day, guys. So it's
pretty much.
It's pretty cool. But I will say the best game that I've played this year, because I gave it a chance again, was Watch Dogs Legions. I'm currently playing Watch Dogs Legions, and I feel like now that I'm playing it a second time and I'm actually paying attention to it, like I'm committing to it, I'm having more enjoyment.
Best game I've played this year, I'll say Evil Within 2, actually, so far. I was gonna say Resident Evil 8.
Village,
yeah. But technically I played that last year.
Yeah.
So as far as this year, I would say Evil Within 2. I did not like the first Evil Within.
Oh God, no.
Evil Within 1 was not working for me. But Evil Within 2 definitely came back and saved the franchise for me. And that game was absolutely amazing. I had really fun playing that. It definitely, sir, because I've been, like, the year before, I played all through your Resident Evil collection, basically.
You did your own personal Resident Evil marathon?
Yeah. And I was like, I kind of fell in love with the series now, and I was getting a little itch for that kind of gameplay. And Evil Within definitely helped scratch that itch for me. So that was really fun to play. So Evil Within 2.
And shout out to, actually, I'm going to take advantage to mention him right now on this episode, but VG Mobster, because in his VGLP album, he actually made a song called Thumbs Down, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Where it was precisely tackling the subject about how gaming has been perceived back in the day compared to now. Yeah,
he was going from back in that 90s era when a lot of people were saying, like, video games and violence was a big, that was the big thing in the 90s, that violence in video games.
MK and the
Mortal Kombat and like the shooter games and all that kind of stuff. That's when violence in video games was the big thing. It's like, oh, you play video games, you become violent, whatever.
Yeah.
That was a big thing in the 90s, and I think that's kind of the approach he was taking in that song, because that was a big thing.
It was a big thing. So if you want to educate yourself history-wise while listening to some music, then there you go. It's a good track to listen to. And I want to ask you now, what has gaming done for you guys? Let me know in the comments below. Has it sparked any interest in any new hobbies?
Yeah.
Has it made you a better person? Is it something you use as an excuse to connect with your family, with your significant other? Let us know in the comments below, because I would love to chat it up with the community and find out. Yeah. I always try to, guys, believe me, I make such a huge effort to not be talking all the time about gaming. But like you said, gaming always calls me back. Yeah. And somehow we ended up talking about gaming again in this episode. Yeah. So as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, listening to this podcast. We're so close to closing in.
Next episode, baby.
Season 3. I wish I could tell you guys right now what it's going to be about. But you got to tune into all my social media pages to find out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So as always, I want to remind you.
2.
Always.
Reset.
4.
What?
And zap.
Oh.
I screwed it up.
I was like, 4? Where does the 4 come from? What are you talking about?
And.
Zap.
4.
The week.
The week. We need to rehearse this better.
Yeah. Maybe next time you'll follow me. I don't know where you were going. I was hoping you would just follow me and we would just go, but you decided not to do that. So.
I decided not to. Yeah. You need to do it in Zap version. Okay. Go ahead, close it in.
And always, remember to reset and zap.